Okay.
Oh, my bad.
Just making
Grande
sure.
gozo,
Cuán
cuán hermoso,
hermoso.
paso todo
Ujú.
el tiempo
Tiempo
bien
bien
feliz,
feliz.
oh
Oh,
bien
bien
feliz,
feliz.
porque veo de Cristo la sonriente faz, grande gozo siento en mí.
Woo!
Courtesy of Himnos de Gloria y Triunfio. Triunfio,
Trunfio. Trunfo. Trunfo.
triunfo.
Our Spanish is very good.
It's okay. It's all right. It's forgivable.
Which is why we do this in English and not
But how many of you remember this book? This is my childhood right here. We were actually singing these songs behind the scenes. You know, we all went back in time.
Mm.
I got teary eyed because there's certain songs there that just take you back to that moment in church where you're sitting there. At first, when you were a youth and they used to call these books, we used to get mad. Like, why are we singing from these books? We didn't appreciate it that much. And now I could just I could feel the atmosphere. I can see everybody and the joy and the smile. And above all, I can feel the peace
Mm.
everyone had when they were singing these songs because the words to them were so, um,
Beautiful. Intimate.
yeah,
It's a dedication
yes, yeah,
to God.
to God.
Yeah. You're beautiful.
And I loved it. Do you remember one at least?
No.
None?
Like I remember like songs that they used to sing, but I never had the book, so I never knew that there was even like a book. Like I didn't know that that's where they took.
Oh,
I just thought songs that they know.
okay.
Yeah. But then I also like when I grew up in church, I was very young. So like and then when I, grew apart, that was, so I don't remember a lot. So maybe, maybe I did know certain songs. I probably even sang songs. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I would sing too when, the youth and the kids would go. Um, but that I remember, not really.
Do you girls have a favorite song from the book?
I don't have a favorite song, but the most common song that we always sang was Hay poder,
Poder, sin igual poder, en Jesús, que murió, resucitó. Hay poder, poder, sin igual poder, en la sangre que
vertió.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that was a popular one.
But people used to think that that was a regular corito, and they didn't know that that came from that book.
You're so
And
right.
I think it's number 30 or 31 in the book, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see how
So
good
then
you
that's the
are.
difference. So coritos
30.
are different, and these are himnos.
Well, they call it himnos.
Himno, yeah.
And coritos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's both because
Yeah.
the corritos are in the back. Like the general ones are in the back.
oh, okay.
What general ones? What are you talking about, Willis?
Well, you might be asking what it is that we are
I
talking
know.
about today. We are going back, and we are going back down memory lane, and I wanted to do a fun episode, an episode where we get to go back. I just, especially if I'm honest, I just love hearing Cio's stories about when she, how she grew up in church, and just everybody here in general, because I learned from it. I don't remember much when I was in church when I was young because I was young. I was a kid, so I don't remember much. So I love hearing it. So this is gonna be an episode where we ask each other questions, where we go back and remember what it's like growing up in church.
In church.
Growing up in church.
Jasmine, did you have a favorite one?
Yeah, I did. But I don't remember if it was in the hymn book.
What
But
is
it was the one day at a time.
Un día
Oh, that's what
a
she was
la
looking up.
Yeah.
vez, mi Cristo. Is
'Cause
it?
It's actually an English hymn,
Let me
and it was
see.
translated. So it's one day at a time.
Let's look it up, you
Sweet
guys.
Jesus.
Sweet.
Did
Oh,
you?
is that the one you put the other day in chat? No.
No.
Oh.
No,
No, it's not it.
it's about a sinner. Is a person that's a sinner and basically sings like that's telling God like how they are as a sinner, but that if they take it one day at a time with him, that they'll be able to make it.
Oh.
Yeah. I remember when they used to sing that in church, everybody used to cry.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a great. No, they don't have this one here, Eunice.
I'm pretty sure that it was a hymn in the
Only
but there was different hymn books, remember that?
Mm. Oh, okay. So they're like, so
Like
each
new
church had a. So
versions.
each church is this like each church had the same one. Like, is
yes,
there only one?
Yes and
yes.
no, because we had songs that you guys didn't have because of our council. They added like certain, like a youth song, a men's song, and a woman's song because of the different like societies that we had.
Mm,
So we had a specific one that had our emblem on it, but it was like a copied version of the hymn book,
yeah.
just with like our extra songs in it.
Huh. Interesting.
No, don't remember. I just remember this one. And the blue and blue,
Cool that you still
Mhm.
have it
blue.
though.
Yeah, we loved it. We loved it. We love it now.
You love it now.
We love it now.
That comes to show how as kids we don't appreciate things the way that we should.
No, no, no. And when we knew it
And
was that
that's
one specific lady who always sang from the book, oh my God, that used to be painful. But now looking at it,
Yep.
the lyrics to these songs are just, they're like love letters to God.
Love songs.
And I love it. No puede el mundo ser mi hogar.
Mm. It's a powerful sentence,
Yes, it
guys.
is. But anyways,
Yeah.
yeah. One
That's
day we'll
great.
sit and just play all these songs
We'll do a karaoke episode.
with better singers. Than
Yes. No, no,
Yes,
no,
please?
not
Did
you.
you see
No,
that?
no, 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 no. I said yes, like for me. I
Oh.
thought you said better singers. I didn't hear the better singers than me part. Because here there's no, 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 no. She actually sings really good. I tell her all the time, especially these songs. So I don't know. She should definitely be singing them.
No, 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 it's okay. I have them all in my head right now. So continue talking because I'm gonna start singing.
She keeps opening the book. I think that's what she wants this episode to be. We can make it a karaoke episode
No,
where
no,
you
it's
sing.
okay. Oh look. Oh, remember la siembra?
La
Sembraré
simiente
hermosa
preciosa
de glorioso
evangelio
evangelio de amor. Sembraré, sembraré mientras viva. Dejaré resultado al Señor. Sembraré, sembraré. Mientras viva simiente de amor. Segaré, segaré. Al hallarme en la casa de Dios.
Dun 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 dun.
That was so funny.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
keep this
funny.
book over there.
But we were it's like a toy. I have to take it away.
Yeah,
to you.
take it away. Take it away.
But we were saying how most of these songs have the same rhythm. But
Oh yeah.
the lyrics are powerful, but most of them, as I was hearing them sing it, they all had the same rhythm.
Yeah, they did.
Alrighty, so what do you want to start with a question? Should
Well, I
start?
mean, if we're talking about the
songs?
like how okay, not you specifically because you don't remember them, but Eunice
Yeah.
and Jasmine, while you are remembering these songs, where does it take you? Like, what does it make you feel?
Well, it brings back memories. Even though we didn't enjoy the books, 'Cause I agree with Xiomara. I was one of them that used to get bad when they used to say, "Oh, vamos a repartir los hinarios." I used to be like, "Oh man," but I do appreciate them now, and something that I was trying to tell the worship leader in church to try to like do a remix But these songs bring back memories. Growing up in church, I grew up practically all my life in church, and knowing what they mean now
Mm.
than before. Because before, we're young, and we just the thing is that we heard older people sing it, so it was like they were off tune, off beat. So it was kind of like frustrating, as a
That's so true.
you. And now that, we hear it and we sing it, and I'm like, oh man, we should have appreciated, before. But, we were young, and what can I say?
It's okay. It's what was planted in our hearts.
Yes.
Entre niños su carrera y un que no fuere viejo no se apartará de ella. That's when this comes into play. Because we remember. We remember that feeling. We remember the words. Even us, while we were going through the songs, there's certain songs that we didn't know I didn't know
The
I
meaning.
mean,
not even the meaning to it, but the melody that went with it.
oh, okay, okay.
But as I started singing it or pretend that I was singing it, the melody just came back to me.
Yeah.
So it's like it's in there.
Yeah.
It was planted in there. So it's just warm and fuzzy for me. It makes me feel like, wow, I loved it. I love that time. Jasmine, do you want to share?
Well, I was a musician in that time,
Oh.
so I used to get annoyed that I had to play the same beat over and over and over again. And I was one of the ones that was like, we need to reform the song, like the music for these songs, because it wasn't attractive anymore
It
after.
wasn't
It was
attractive.
attractive.
Yeah, like musically, it's
Yeah.
like music started to take a different, turn, and churches were still playing the same beats from the 80s. And it's like you have to
Yeah.
kind of reform a little bit on how you sound or get a little bit better or try something different. And I felt like the church from before, they weren't so open to rhythms because they would say like it was worldly to bring certain rhythms into the church.
That's right. That's right.
But we tried. We did it even if people looked at us weird.
Well, we even added our own lyrics to the songs sometimes.
Really?
Yeah. Just to make it
Well,
fun.
I mean, that's what you were just saying about that one. Like, you added your own.
We added our own little.
Like, just to make it more fun.
Yeah, but look at how the music has changed in the church.
Oh, yeah.
From this to how it is now.
Yeah.
Which one do I prefer?
Which one do you
I
prefer?
don't know. I am very loyal to how I started,
Okay.
and I love it because it makes me feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
And the music now, it's beautiful because I feel it as well.
Right.
But there's just something about oldies that you can't take that away from me. You can't. It's intimate.
It's personal.
Yeah.
I think it's more joyful too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think the way that you like churches, you used to see churches before, like even kids were involved, like there was just a lot of joy. I think now with a lot of the songs, I mean I'm someone that's from the now, right? So I listen to it, like I didn't know these too much of these songs. So like it's not to like throw anything bad about any of these, but like the most of the songs now are since they're very like, very sad sometimes.
But why, Melanie?
They're mellow,
But
mellow.
no, it's not.
Okay, mellow, that's the
because we're
word.
talking about us.
Yes, uh-huh.
What we're feeling, what we're going through. All of these, even if some of them were mellow, we were still talking about God's kingdom. We were talking about His love. We were talking about Him. It had to do everything about Him.
Yeah.
Nothing about us.
Yeah.
So now we all talk about us and what we're going through. And of course, we're going to start crying.
Yeah.
Because it's what we feel.
Right. But I think it's important when there's kids in the church that we also give them a taste of this, because then it brings that joy, right? We don't want anyone to see our God as, full.
But are we even talking about God in some of the songs?
Mm.
Nope.
No.
We're just
Mm-mm.
talking about us.
Yes.
I'm sad. What I went through. What came against me. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, where are we talking? When does God come into the picture in this
Yeah.
song?
Mhm.
Well, what they did, there was a movement is called contemporary Christian music. And when contemporary Christian music started, they removed a lot of the words of Jesus and God, and
Mm.
or they just left God and removed Jesus
Mm-hmm.
so that you can generalize it for anything.
Yes.
So contemporary music became very general. So now when
Yes.
you listen to songs, like you're singing about God, but what God? Like,
Mm.
and that was like a big question when that music started coming out because people were using contemporary songs for love.
Mm.
And that was, I remember
Mm.
that that was a big discussion
Yeah.
inside of the church back
Yes.
in the day
Yep.
because they were removing the sense of Jesus inside of the song and talking about feelings.
Yep.
And then you were able to use that and gear it towards anything that you had an emotion for.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Wow.
we have changed how we sing. And that's why it doesn't have the same effect as the songs from before.
Well, music now, some of them, not all of them, is based on emotion
Yeah.
rather than Jesus.
Rather than praise.
So, like I said, sometimes we're crying because of the lyrics of the song, and that's it. We stay right there. There's no change for us. So we're triggering the emotions of a person, but we're not bringing them to the one who can fix it, which is Jesus, the one who can restore, the one who can heal it. And but if we continue to um sing all these songs based on emotion, then you're creating an atmosphere of just emotionalism all around.
Yeah.
So hence when you sing songs that are God intended, Jesus intended, that are focusing just on him, there's something different that happens within us.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys, let's
Mm.
bring back.
Los himnos de
It
gloria y
doesn't have to
triunfo.
be the himnos de gloria.
Himnos de gloria y triunfo.
Just write songs about the Bible tells you.
Yeah.
It tells you everything we need to know about music and writing lyrics. We're all gonna go through sadness. We're all gonna go through anxiety.
Yeah.
We're all gonna go through all those emotions. But Jesus is the one who can help us overcome it.
Mm.
So why don't we say his name? Just saying his name. That's all we need sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah. This is supposed to be a
Okay,
fun.
so it's a fun episode. So what is the All right, all right. So let's go to a fun question and see. So did you ever fall asleep during a preaching? When you were young, obviously as an
Oh,
adult.
even when I get old like this, why not?
Really?
I don't know. Sometimes I'm just sitting there, like when we had to wake up. When we had to wake up, like to be at church. What was that? 7 in the morning? Was it 7? We had to be at church.
For me, 6.
Oh,
If we
for
had a fast.
matutino?
Yeah, man.
That was 6 o'clock.
Oh,
That's
ours was like
crazy.
7.
No,
Fasting
ours
was
was
6
6.
for us.
You can't help it.
Yeah.
But you know what? I let myself, cause I don't know if God's gonna give me a vision or a dream while I'm sleeping. Who said that doesn't happen? Why not? Like, even when I hear people sleeping at church, especially in prayer service, that they're sleeping, you know what? Let them. And then I ask God, let them have a vision or a dream while they're sleeping there. So they'll never do it again.
I have never heard of that. This is funny.
Just let them sleep. Let them sleep. Who knows? God will give them something.
Oh my goodness. Well, I used to fall asleep as a kid all the time. But then when we would get out of church, my dad would not be very happy about it.
Yeah.
So me and Julie would receive on
Yeah, me too.
because like you were sleeping the whole time. You're not supposed to be sleeping in church. Blah blah blah.
No,
Yeah.
my parents never let me fall
Yeah.
asleep in church. Never, ever. To bring a blanket to church? Nope.
Oh no no
No. To bring a toy to church that I can fall asleep with?
no no.
Nope. Church is church. That's what you used
Yeah.
to tell me. It's not a playground. It's not nap time. It's not you're sleeping. It's not bedroom. No, it's
Yeah.
church. You're going to sit there. And that's all I remember doing is just sitting
Yeah.
there.
But it was hard, guys, like as a kid, because at least, you know, with Christian churches, they're long services. So, you know, as a kid, you like, you're hearing the pastor preach and you're just, it's like 2 hours long and you're just like, you know, just automatically.
But we made it.
we made it.
We made it.
Here we are.
We made it.
And
Back then, services were a lot longer, guys.
They were. They were.
They were a lot longer than they are now. And
They
even now,
were.
people saying it's too long. You have not been to. You don't know what church service is.
Yeah, no, they are. That's funny.
The only time I remember sleeping, like you said, was like a fasting.
Mm.
Like they would like maybe perhaps allow us to sit like this. But that's it.
Wow.
My parents were very, very strict with that.
Yeah.
I guess that's where I get it from. The respect of the church.
Yeah.
The
Well,
respect.
they taught you that.
Yeah.
Well, it should be taught.
Yeah.
You have to have respect for the church.
Are you gonna ask the girls in the back too?
Well, they should be answering,
Oh.
girls. Well, Jazz like answered the questions behind the scenes, but you actually have to answer for the camera now.
Oh, I never fell asleep in church when I understood what church was about.
Mm-hmm.
So probably until like I was like 12-ish around there,
Mm.
that's when I stopped sleeping in church. And I have never fallen asleep in a message ever since. I may get distracted in certain messages, but to close my eyes and I snore. I cannot fall asleep in a church service. Everybody will know.
No,
Dang
now
it.
as an adult, I can't fall asleep, like, because I can't fall asleep sitting down. Like, that's uncomfortable to me, personally. I might get tired. Like, I might sometimes have to go to the bathroom and wash my face because I feel myself getting drowsy. But to actually fall asleep, it would be hard for me. I'm not a person that falls asleep, like, just anywhere.
Yeah. Well, I see it from the front. People who are falling asleep during the service.
It's like you see the head. Like,
Yeah. Or I see the eyes going like this.
Like, okay, so from a pastor perspective, like, how does that feel? Like, how does that feel?
What do you mean? How does
Like,
that make me feel?
yeah.
That doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother you?
Doesn't bother me. I said, go ahead, take your nap. But exactly what I say. God,
Oh.
show them a vision or a dream.
So
Go get them over there. Go get them.
Reach that.
I really don't know what happened to them the night before.
yeah.
So that doesn't offend me. I'm just happy that they're there, that they're
Yes.
sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Because whatever, if they're awake or they're sleeping, whatever it is, the word is gonna get through. They're gonna pick up on some stuff.
Yeah.
So no, that doesn't bother me.
Okay.
That I want to play around? Yeah. That I want to bother? Yeah. Just to mess around, but that
Yeah.
doesn't bother me.
Okay.
I'm just happy that they're there.
Yeah, that they were able to get
Yeah.
there that day.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Did you ever sneak snacks into the church? We're not.
Nena, the ushers back then.
If they call you chewing gum, they would take out a piece of tissue
Right in front of
and right
you.
in front of you and right in
In
front,
front
of
of
everybody,
everybody.
Oh my god.
and make you spit it out.
They had every authority to do that.
True.
Every authority to do that. No parents will get in the way of that either. If your kid had a snack, no, that wasn't even allowed. You didn't even see that.
Mm-mm.
You did not see parents with little baggies of cookies or drinks. No, you never saw that. At least I never did.
Yeah.
Never. Now, teenagers that used to sneak it in, then that's when you saw the ushers do what they had to do. And
What
you
did
had
they
to
do?
spit that gum out. You had
Wow.
to
Did they
spit it
come? Did
out.
they come and like chase you down?
No, they would just, put the paper right there in front of you to spit it out. Or sometimes they would like give you the piece of paper, like not to embarrass you, but you knew that you did wrong. You
Wow.
knew that. You were convicted of that back then. There was no food, there was no drinks. You didn't even see people drinking water in church.
Mm.
Yep.
There was no water bottles in church. None of
I
that.
told you, Melanie.
Yeah,
That's
she
what I was
did.
telling her before we started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
No,
Like, you
none
would
of
not
that.
see any of that.
Now you see water bottles, you see juice, you see coffee, you see snacks, you see candy, you see it on the floor, and I'm like, I don't know what to think sometimes. Like, if you want to eat your snack and your child needs to eat their snack,
Take them to the
take
back.
them to the back.
Yeah.
That's why we
That's
have
true.
a space in the back for. Don't do it in the sanctuary. Why are we saying this? When you go to a courtroom, you cannot eat gum in there at all. You cannot bring any snacks at all. And that's a courtroom.
In the Catholic Church. In the Catholic Church, you don't even hear a peep.
No, you don't. You could hear like a pin drop.
And they go with all their kids and with everything, and everybody's sitting down and nobody moves.
No.
That's so incredible. And then in the Christian church, it's the opposite. People got like ants in their pants in the Christian church.
Bathroom every 5 minutes.
Mm.
What is happening? I understand if you have a condition,
True.
go do it. I understand if you are a person that needs to drink water, because of conditions that you have, that you need to go to the bathroom. But if I know you have none of the above and you're just getting up every 5 minutes, that's a problem. Why?
Yeah.
That's only in the, that's only in the church. And, I don't even want to say it.
The Christian church.
It's only in the Christian church. Only in the Christian church that you see that. Everywhere. You brought this up.
I was like maybe like seeking stories. I'm like, yeah, I fell asleep, I didn't sleep.
No, you couldn't even fall asleep. They wouldn't even how, okay, fine. We the children created that we would take our jackets and put them in the form of a pillow.
True.
Remember that?
Mhm.
And
you
it's
would sleep under
Under
the
the
bench.
banco.
the under the banco. I was gonna say that. You sleep under the banco. That's when it was vigilia too. Like our parents knew in vigilia, like we had a certain time to go to sleep, so they would let us. But they wouldn't bring pillows. They would not bring blankets. We did that. We created our coat, formed it into a pillow, and whatever other coat was left over, then we would cover ourselves with.
It's crazy.
It was raw for us.
It's raw.
But this is why we are the way we are now.
Right, yeah.
We had a respect for God's house. People don't have respect for God's house. They just consider it another place that we're going to just walk into. And that's it. No. You see what you did, Melanie?
We did say before we started the episode, this was supposed to be fun, and we are most likely going to get deep and personal, and it's gonna be longer than we said. We're already 30 minutes in, guys. Already, and we've only answered 2 questions.
Okay, right. Carry on.
Okay. All right. Let's continue to see fun questions.
All right,
okay.
go.
Well, now the other ones are not so much fun. They're personal.
Okay.
Well, we kind of been answering them. Like the other one, how do you think growing up in a church shaped your faith today? Like you said, at least you guys know the respect that you have to have for a church, which is what we are not currently seeing in the modern world.
It's very different. another thing, because I stand in the back and I watch everything, there's certain things that trigger me, the lack of respect. For instance, when someone was reading the Bible back then, you were supposed to stand on your feet, but
Automatically.
you weren't allowed to move either. It was respect for the word that was being read.
Yeah.
There was no one going to the bathroom. There
Mhm.
was no one moving from one side of the room to the other. No, no one will even walk. Like, you know how people start walking in
Yeah, yeah.
when you're coming into
Like they would
church
have to stay
and
outside.
somebody's reading the word?
Yeah, I remember that.
Now,
See, I remember.
uh-huh.
Yeah. Like it was, yeah, at least for, and it was automatic. Like,
Yes.
and they didn't have to tell you to stand up.
No, no.
Like, no, like it was just automatic. Like you
Yeah.
would see every single person stand up
Yeah.
when
Now
somebody was there.
people, when they're reading the word, everyone's just walking
Mhm.
to wherever they want. And I'm like, no, no, you gotta wait. You gotta wait right there. Just hold on a second. But I understand that they also don't know that.
Right. They
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 didn't
didn't
grow
grow
up
up
with
with.
that. So
Yes.
they don't know that. So it's a thing that the church needs to teach again.
Mm.
Because we assume
That
that
people
they
know.
know, but
Right.
they don't. We're the ones who grew up in it, so we're the ones who have to
Yeah.
teach this.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of teaching church etiquette.
Well, there's a difference also between growing up in, because I'm giving you me as an example. There's a difference between growing up in church, like you being young, and then not, and then letting go of it. So then throughout your adulthood, you're not in church. Now there's a different, in using you as an example, right, where you grew up in church, but you continued on.
Mm.
Right, you can grow apart like in the secular life, like you're doing things that maybe you shouldn't have been doing. But I
Yeah.
mean, like you maintained that aspect of going to church. So obviously, certain things. Now there are people that did grow up in church, like, hey, I was young, my parents went to church, but then as they got older, they stopped and they didn't go. And so they don't remember the things, I don't want to say rules, but how the respect that you should have for the church. So it's definitely, like you said, taking that into consideration and not assuming that everybody that's walking into the church knows how to behave, knows how to act,
Yes.
knows what to do.
Yeah.
Because then it's also, if you're walking into an environment where you're already seeing these things, we are all children. We grasp what we see. It's the environment. So if we see someone doing this, then we automatically, as adults, are like, oh, so if
It's
he's doing
okay.
it, then I can do it
Uh-huh.
too. Or if they're doing that, then I could do this too. My children can do that. So yeah, so if they're already walking in that environment, that is the environment that they are gonna grasp on
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
behave on.
That's true. That's so true.
Yeah. Okay.
Do they want to add something?
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree with you guys. I mean, the way I grew up, um, being that my grandfather was the pastor of the church, so I was taught that once you enter those doors, you enter in reverence and respect. Back then, I don't think they had problems with like cell phones and stuff like that. People had respect with that too.
Oh
But
my God. Don't get
now
me started, Eunice.
Oh my
now
goodness. I should have known.
yeah, so that's one thing that I can say that my grandfather put in me. That's a seed that he planted in my heart, that even when I departed from the world, I knew that one day I had to come back because of him, because of that seed that he planted in me, right? So yeah, the I forgot my train of thought, but uh, so because of him, may he rest in peace. Is the woman I am today, right? I'm back,
Mhm.
walking in the foot with Christ, and walking in this right path, right, of righteousness. Um, because of him, and it's first because of God. God has a lot of mercy on us, and him, the church. even though it was hard for me back then because well for us because a lot of people, they used to say that if you do this, you're going to hell.
Mm.
Everything that we did is you're going to hell, but they didn't give us no explanation. It's just you're going to hell. So I'm like, okay.
I think we feared. we were
Yeah, so
we were
so
scared.
And that's also why people didn't stop coming to church.
That yeah, we didn't stop.
Well, yeah,
yeah,
but
we didn't
certain
stop.
people, you just get scared and you're like, okay, if I'm going to hell, then why am I gonna come back?
No, and there were people back then like that, and it didn't really like. I just like, okay, so if I do this, I'm going to hell, right? But I see myself now, and then I look back then, like still some of the churches, and I'm like, I think I'm better than some of these people right now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because they look at things different than what we look at it. They look at everything so wrong, and I'm not gonna mention because it's I'm not gonna mention certain things, but they look at everything so wrong, and I'm like, but there's nothing wrong with this. God doesn't see what you're wearing. God doesn't see your physical. He sees your heart. And that's something that I wasn't really taught. Now is where I could have a relationship with God. Back then it was like, okay, they taught me, okay, I go to church, you sing, you hear the word, but how to have a relationship with God, I was never taught that back
Mhm.
then.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
we're gonna answer all these questions without you even asking them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know
that's
that?
what I'm saying. We're kind of already answering them.
Because she said back then, which I respect, and this is what I think there was a question there. I don't know which one it was, but that's what I grew up with, the spiritual side
Mm,
of Christianity.
yeah.
It was very spiritual back then. A lot of fasting, a lot of prayer, a lot of miracles, a lot of supernatural stuff happened right in front of my face, you know? And yes, they weren't well read. They weren't people who knew their Bible inside out. But what they had was the relationship with God. And they believed in everything that they said. That's what I grew up with. That's what has me here, was the foundation that they set for me back
Yeah.
then. And it was just the spiritual side of
Yeah.
all of this. And this is why now I want that. I desire that again.
Yeah.
For that spiritual side, the healings, the miracles, the liberations to happen again in front of my face. So yeah, that's
Wow.
what I love the most.
Yeah. It's
And I
just
miss the most.
yeah.
Because right
Teaching
now,
that.
everyone is well educated, well versed. Everyone knows their Bible back and forth. But where's the spirituality?
Yeah.
Where's that relationship, intimate relationship with God? That you don't even have to tell me anything. Just by looking at me, if I did something wrong, I'm going to feel convicted. That's how the old church was. And I say this sometimes at church when I'm preaching about, the spirit-filled churches and the little old ladies in church
Yeah.
that God used with fire. That's what's missing in church right now. And cell phones.
Okay, so we're gonna
She
talk about
said
it.
cell
We're
phones.
gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
I don't understand. I do not understand, Melanie. I do not understand. We're only in church for 2 hours sometimes, 2.5 hours. And I see people on their cell phones. And I see people running out to answer phone calls. You couldn't wait for 2 hours? Sometimes I feel like, let's have lockers for cell phones. Because I can't trust you. But again, I'm not going to take it personal.
Yeah.
Like, that's you. That's your relationship with God.
Right.
What's priority to you? becoming intimate with God at that moment and grabbing what's yours, or whatever the cell phone, whatever the other person, or whatever you need on that cell phone? What's more important to you?
Mm. Just very childlike behavior.
We weren't even allowed to bring coloring books to church when I was a kid. None of
Oh my
that.
God.
And now you see that, and you see children on their phones, on iPads, looking at muñequitos because, well, that's the only way my child stays still. Well, have we taught the child what church is? Don't get me started with this, Melanie.
But I didn't even say anything. She's like,
Do not. Because God showed me a very long time ago a dream about this that's happening today. And of course, at that moment, I didn't understand it because it was the 90s. None of these things existed yet.
mm,
And all I could tell you about the dream is at the end, he's like, this is all distractions that are going to happen in the church.
mm,
That's all it is. And then we want the Spirit of God to move supernaturally.
mm,
Okay.
mm. I think in in church there's supposed to be a connection between everyone, spiritual connection. And obviously that I feel like people forget that everyone is included from the smallest person to the biggest one. So children have to be connected as well. They have to be involved, and that means on the church aspect of it. That does not mean, like you said, being distracted by things of the world, because those things are from the world. And if if you know the Bible so much, then you would know that we shouldn't depend on worldly things, but on godly things.
Yeah.
And so if you can't do that while you are outside of the church, like when you're at home, if it's a constant distraction at home, then okay, fine. Then at least when you go to church, you teach your children that in these times, in these hours that we are here, there has to be a respect and there cannot be any of these distractions. If you want to use it at home, fine, whatever. But as long as we are here, there has to be a sense of respect, because there has to be a connection between everybody. I
Yeah.
think a lot of, I think that's also like a big issue now, just in Christian churches. We're putting children to the side, forgetting that they need to see this. I mean, we're talking about this now. So we were all there, like we were all children. I saw it, you saw it. You were like, you wouldn't be where you are right now if you didn't see what you see as a kid.
Yeah.
I personally don't. So if how do we expect our children to reach this stage, right? Where you are now, so, and I'm using you as an example, but it could be anyone. How do you, if you are a pastor yourself, or you are you have a leadership role at the church, how do you expect your children to get to that role
Yeah.
if they're, that's not what they're learning while they're there? Like, you can be that, but when they are at church, no one's teaching them that.
Yeah.
So we really need to have a big focus on what we are teaching our kids while we are at church. And it's not just like, I don't think it's also I don't think it's also like yelling at them and like just saying like stay still, don't move, like I don't agree with that either.
Yeah.
I don't. I think children have to be involved as well. I think I was personally involved when I was at church. I know how you guys grew up in church is very different, but at least for me, what I always remember is singing at church. Singing at church.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
huge for me. It got to the point where, I got excited for, the nerves were there, but it was good. It was a good feeling.
Yeah.
And all the kids sitting in the front. That's what I would always remember. All the kids sitting in the front and all of us
That's
being there
right.
together. But we were at the front of the church. At the front, all of us.
Yeah, participating.
Yes, participating. We knew how to obviously it's impossible to say that kids know how to behave like the whole 2 hours, 3 hours
No.
out of there. No, of course not. They're kids. But they know how to, most of the time, how to behave, how to respect, how to stay quiet, how to, if someone's reading the Bible, they know automatically to stand up. But they are together. That is their unity. That is their like tribe in the moment that they're at the church. They are together, but they are together worshiping God, praising, reading the Bible together.
Yeah.
I think now we're kind of in this mentality of like, you stay with your family, you stay with your family. So how are the kids going to learn what unity is?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I see it.
I I don't want people to see this and say, like, well, then what are the kids are supposed to be doing in the church?
Mm,
You know, um, I know I grew up in a way that doesn't work now,
yeah.
so I'm not gonna suggest or pretend, oh, it can work.
Yeah, no, of course not.
The thing is with children is they have to know that church is a place you respect it. If they're coming to church and all they want to do is sleep all the time, so then they're gonna find that church is just, it's nap time,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I understand that children, they could fall asleep. I'm not saying that they can't, because there are
Yeah.
moments where
You just can't
they
control it.
you
Yeah.
can't. That's understandable. But if it's every single service, then that's where I have an issue at. And that's all I'm gonna say to that.
Yeah. All right. Well, with all of this being said, obviously this is our opinion. We just we want to make that very clear.
It's our
It's
opinions.
our opinion. We don't and we go to a Christian church. So it's this it's good to also have these conversations, even though even if we are part of it as well. We learn from it, and um this was supposed to be a very fun episode, which I think it was. Either way, it was fun to talk about these things. I think these are topics that a lot of people don't feel comfortable speaking. So I thank God
'Cause
that we have a platform that we feel
I
comfortable.
don't think it's the season to be offended by anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's an opinion that everyone has, and am I giving you a solution? I'm giving you a solution with the opinion that I have.
Yeah.
I'm not just leaving it out there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give you a solution to it. Have what do we call it? Have services in your house as a family. And that's a teachable moment right there.
Mhm.
Put your son or daughter to lead worship. Put your son or daughter to preach. And you act like the kids.
Yeah.
And act, rowdy, to see how they're going to like it, to
Yeah.
see how they're going to react to that. They'll probably tell you, Mom, can you stay still? It's a teachable moment. You can tell them, well, this is what you do when you are at church. So I that's the solution that I have. Start with in your house.
Yes. And kids love like hands-on things,
Yeah.
or feeling like they're doing something.
Yeah.
Like I can tell you that. And with that being said, like I can tell you because I've worked with kids and I've learned about kids. So I can tell you with all the confidence in my heart that kids love being involved, and they learn by being involved.
Yeah.
Like they don't learn by just sitting there, staying quiet, and you shutting off what God wants to grow in them. That's not how they're gonna blossom. They're not. They're not. Now, with this being said, that doesn't mean that you can go and run around and do everything. No, but if you start, like you said, within your home, teaching them what it's like, then they are going to know what it's like, and they are going to also learn what it's like to be in a church, and to be the church, not just be in it, not just go to it, and I just go to it every Sunday, and get annoyed like, oh, it's Sunday, I have to wake up early. No, it even brings an excitement to them, like, can you imagine if you said that? I love that advice, because then, let's say then a service comes and they know that they're going to worship and they feel excited for it, and they're like, I can't wait, I'm nervous, mommy, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
Like it's good.
Yeah,
Like we
yeah.
have to bring that excitement onto them
Yeah.
about their church. We're losing it. We're losing.
Well, the parents can't leave the Sunday school teacher or the church to teach them.
Right? No,
It's your job.
It's your parent.
Yeah.
I mean, God made you the parent.
Yeah.
That's your responsibility. We forgot about that responsibility many times. So,
Do the girls want to add anything to this?
mhm.
Okay.
No, I think you
Okay.
guys said it all. I think we
Okay.
all said it all.
We like I said, it's funny. We said that this is exactly where this episode was gonna lead to. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope there was a teaching behind it for you guys as well, as much as it is for us. Because even here we talk about it and we learn as well. We take it. I take it every time I'm here, and I CO says something. I take it. I learn from it. I apply it. It's not just about hearing it. It's
Mm.
about applying it, taking action in it, and yeah. So thank you guys for watching, and of course, we're never gonna end without a Bible verse. And this is
Melanie
CEO's.
just ended. She just cut. She just cut the show. She's like, "That's it. We're stopping it
No,
here."
because look at the minutes. It's about to be an hour. We just did an episode, guys, where it was an. I don't know how you guys are gonna cut that to be any shorter, and I don't want to like. Jazz, we're recording 2 episodes today, guys. I don't want to make it any more difficult for Jazz. When it comes to editing this episode that was supposed to be short and fun and
It was fun.
yes.
It was fun. It was not short, but it was fun.
Yes.
It's things that need to be said
Talk about
because
Talk about it.
God is coming to pick up his church soon.
Yes.
And what type of church is he coming to pick up? And I think it's time we remember who he's coming for.
Ooh. With that.
Amen. Sin mancha y sin arrugas. Wow, this one's long. Revelations 21:4. Diantre. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more. Neither shall be mourning, nor crying, nor pain, for the former things have passed away. I just said God is coming to pick up his church.
That's why I was like, let's just remember that, guys. The struggle is now, but
well, let's leave you with a question. As a Christian in 2025, what is something that you believe the church lacks that we should be doing?
And drop it in the comments.
Dun, dun, dun,
drop
dun,
it,
dun.
drop it, drop it. If we see questions, we want to talk about it in the next episode, guys. You have to answer, comment. We want to hear your opinions, and obviously, always like and subscribe. Dun, 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 dun.